Hello Seal Stars, we are making a wedding dress in this video. It is a mermaid wedding dress. We made use of transparent corset and a skin toned yoke, also a basque waistline and an extremely long sleeve. I am sure you are going to learn a thing or two from this video, whether a sewing technique, whether a pattern drafting tip. Anyways, let's sit back and enjoy this video. It is just past 10 a.m. See the way I'm sweating. The weather is super hot. I am making a wedding dress, and already yesterday I cut out the skirt. In fact, I'm almost done sewing the skirt. Now here is the pattern I used for the back of my skirt. It is a regular mermaid skirt and I have some tutorials on here for them. I spread the center of that pattern by just 15 inches. You can go a little less. And I made use of the aching technique to draft my mermaid. That's the goddess you are seeing right there. I didn't cut out a separate goddess. One thing I like about this technique is it allows you make use of the width of the fabric rather than the length of the fabric. You know, sometimes it is difficult to find a fabric that is longer than 60 inches. And many times if you are using the regular way we draft our goddess, you may have some challenges extending it beyond 60 inches. So if you want a good flow and a very long train, you should definitely make use of this technique. In fact, I don't see any reason why you'd be doing something else. So for this skirt, initially I wanted to attach a hip pad for extra fullness along the hip, but guys, I eventually didn't even make use of this. But anyways, that's the pattern for my hip pad right there. I have also pressed my pad here. I just need to go ahead to, cut it out of my interfacing. And I'm going to draft the pattern for the bodice today. We are making the upper part as a transparent corset, cupped bustier, and then the skirt I made use of a Duchess material. I'll also add like lace on top of the skirt. But this is the front. It has like a lace on it. I used hemming gum to attach this lace to it. That's why it is not falling off. I can't wait to show you guys the finished work. Even I am eager to see the finished work. Well, this is a sew along vlog, so because I don't have so much time to create a tutorial out of this, I am just hoping I can take you guys along, and I hope that you learn one or two things in the process. So yeah, join me. Today we are drafting the pattern for the cupped bustier and also altering the pattern, and hopefully I can cut out the fabric before it will be closing time. Let's get to work. I don't have so much time to work with, like I said. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new here, my name is Kemi Omorugbe. This is Kema Freak. Please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And to my OGs, you are the ultimate best on this street. With all that's been going on in the past couple of years, you are still sticking to this channel. You're still watching. You're still learning. So thumbs up to you. Let's get to work. For the benefit of those who need a tip or two around hip padding, so let's do this together. I made use of a 1/2 inch thick foam for this pad, and I pressed on my air stay on it. And having done that, I'm just cutting out the excess right there. So for each hip, you need 2 patterns. Sorry, I'm not drafting the pattern here. You may have to check out other tutorials, but if you're interested in how I treat mine, this is it basically. Having done that, just along the edge of the hip pad, I'm trimming out some excesses on only one side, just so that the foam blends into the body when it is worn. You don't have like sharp cuts or visible parts showing underneath your outfit. So that's the essence of this. I'm not sure if I showed you this lace earlier on, but this is what I'm using for the bodies. Like I said, it will be a transparent corset, but then I'm going to lay this over it because I don't want to do so much of beadwork. The wedding is next week. I just wanted to show you guys this lace. It is so pretty. It is beaded. See the details, guys. This is luxury. This one was 18,000 per yard, but I bought What I bought was slightly less than 2 yards, and I got it for 25k. I was still trying to bargain with the price. Then the guy just said, okay, since this is less than 2 yards, just take it 25k. And yeah, it is beaded, guys. I don't even think this camera is doing justice to this. I don't think so. Let me reduce the... Okay, I think this is better. Are you seeing the details? Some sequins, some stones, some crystals. Just, it's a vibe. It is a vibe. I had to rely solely on the generator while making this outfit because our power supply was bad. Also, my steam iron was having so much problem working with the generator, so I improvised by making use of my dry iron and a spray bottle. Okay, now here I am just fixing up my hip pads, sewing the sides together, and it's just so that we have one single piece that I can fix at the sides of my lining. Okay, so this is my already made hip pad. Now I want to go ahead to join the sides of my skirt together and install this. My skirt is dartless, so I didn't sew in any dart at all. And here I am just pinning the front and back piece together and marking out my seam line. I went ahead to the sewing machine, but before then I needed to change my needle. I changed my needle to a size 21 because parts of the skirt had some beaded lace. And also when you're working with a beaded lace, you should actually change the foot of your sewing machine to an invisible zipper foot. This will make it easier for you to sew on some small beads, but this particular lace had some big beads and that method couldn't work for me, so I went ahead to smash out to hammer out some of the big beads, and that made the sewing easier. Once I was done with the side seams, I went ahead to overlock each of the seam allowance. Okay, you know you have 2 pieces of fabric, right? So I overlocked it individually so that it can just look better and I can open up my seam when I need to. That's just the essence of it all. Neat finishing cannot be compromised, especially when you're making a wedding dress. So right now I am done joining the sides of my skirt together. Here is the lining. I want to install my hip pad on the lining. When I was transferring my pattern to fabric, both the fashion fabric and the lining, I already marked my hip line here, and when I was creating this pad, I have my hip located here. So now I'm just going to match these two together and hold them together with pin on the wrong side. I want this smooth part to be the one facing the front of the dress. So I'm just going to align this to this. I don't know if you can see it clearly, I hope so. So I'm pinning it down. I decided to leave it this way for now till I'm done with the bodice and I'm sure of my waist, the width of this waist, because the bodice is a corset and that may alter the waist, so I don't want to start loosening everything. For now I'm going to set my skirt apart, and this is to be finished when I am done with the bodice. This is my full scale basic bodice block which I'm using for this dress. We are going ahead to alter this. Just follow me as much as you can. This is not for beginners, so but if you're an advanced designer, you may be able to grab a thing or two as I do mine. I'm working with the underbust circumference of 33 inches. Okay, so I'm taking a 1 inch wide dart on the underbust line and the same sorry, 2 inches wide. That's 1 inch on both sides. Note that this has to be factored into the side of the pattern, so I need to add extra half an inch here because the basic bodice I'm using, the measurement I actually used was 0.75 on both sides of the dart on the waistline. Now I have this to deal with, 2 inches wide dart to deal with here. I want to make use of an upper chest tightening of 0.75 on both sides. So I'm just going to blend this. Okay, don't forget your bust dart. Mine is 2 inches wide. So this corset I'm making, I want the transparent corset part to be dartless. So remember I took 2 inches here. I'm just going to mark 2 inches on the hip line as well, and you know, take that out. But then I will remember to add it back here. So yeah, we are not creating that side just yet. Just follow. So I will extend my dart legs to that point. So now I'm going to temporarily close this so that I can create this side of my cup. So let's do our throwing here. So I took an across bust measurement after closure of 9.5 inches from the center front, which is about 9 inches away from, without this bridge being included. Creating this part of my curve to that. Okay. So we have our cup looking like this. So now we need to create a shape for this. So because of what we took out here, we're going to try, we're only trying, guys, to replace a part of it here. And I'm also going to raise here by half an inch. Raise the armhole by half an inch. Let's recreate here. So we have our new armhole right there. And now we have to, you know, create our curve. This is how deep my client wants this neckline to go. We measured 7 inches from here, so this is 7 inches. Okay, so it's important that you take that measurement. I'm constantly forgetting that this is not actually a tutorial. So now on the waistline, I want to take out extra 1 inch from here to tighten it. Okay, so this is the width of our actual corset, but because I didn't take this measurement, that's why I'm getting it to the hip line so that it can give me an idea of how wide this part of the corset should be. So I didn't end up dividing this, okay? I didn't end up dividing it. I wanted to tighten from this line, but there is no need for that. So I took out extra 1 inch from the waist line here. So this pattern is pretty much done, but remember that I said this is the height of the corset we are going with. So I'm just going to mark 1 inch upward like so that I can blend this part of the corset pattern. Okay, now I'll go ahead and cut out this paper. Here is my pattern set for the front. On the back pattern, there's really not much to be done. This is the regular basic bodice block for the back. I wiped out my dart right there and took out the dart from the side instead. I took out extra 1 inch as well because I'm tightening the entire waistline by 4 inches. Once I was done with the back pattern, oh, I forgot to mention that I actually opened up the back pattern as well at the center back by 1.5 inch at the top and 1 inch at the hem of the pattern. Okay, now I am done with my patterns and I am cutting out my fabric. I am cutting out about 4 layers of tools and a layer of corset net, and this is what formed the base of the bodies. I ended up also cutting out a layer of my luxury fabric as well, and that was just overlaid on all of this. If you are having fun watching this video so far, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Also, I will appreciate your thoughts and insights in the comment section. I have an entire playlist on this channel on corset making, different tutorials on different types of corsets. If you want to check it out, I'll link it up in the description box. For the cupped part of my pattern, I transferred it to my fabric. I also cut out a lining for it. I didn't make use of the transparent fabrics, the net, the corset net. No, I made use of my Duchess fabric interfaced with stay. I also cut out another layer for the lining, and here I am caging my busts. Basically, I have a tutorial here also on bust caging, okay, so you may want to check it out. I have sewn round my cup here and I'm just using, oh, I forgot to mention, the boning I use for bust caging is actually about 0.6 mm thick boning. That allows for more flexibility than when you use the 1/2 inch. Okay, you need your transparent corset to be neatly finished both on the inside and on the outside. So I am encasing my boning using my tulle fabric. I just cut out about 4 inches wide tulle fabric, folded it into 2, that made it 2 inches, right? And I sew in the first boning at the side, at the open end, on the boning, okay, the boning, the same allowance of the boning right there. And having done that, I wrapped it around the bones. Let's call it bones, right? Why do we call it boning? Okay, I wrapped it around the bones and now I'm sewing it on the fabric itself. Before I went ahead to start sewing, I had marked out the channels, that's the position of this boning on the fabric, so that I can have either straight or curvy looking bones as you prefer, right? So now I'm stitching on only the remaining allowance at the side of my tulle fabric, so that I can then, wrap my bone, twist it around, not twist, turn it around, okay, and top stitch on the bone. You want this to look very neat. I'm doing this on the right side of the fabric because I know that I'm still going to layer my fabric and some tools on top of this to cover it up, so you can't see it on the right side. I used this same boning technique for both the front and the back of my outfit. If you want a complete tutorial on different techniques of boning, I think I taught about 6 or 7. I'll put a link above on the boning tutorial so you can check it out, although it wasn't for a transparent corset, but I'm sure it's still going to help. Okay, now this is what you should have at the end of the day. Here I am just conceptualizing what to do with these panels and how to place them on this outfit when I'm done. Okay, I have sewn my yoke. As you can see, I cut out the sleeve and attached the sleeve to the yoke. And here I was just trying to play around with these lace patches basically, but you see what I did with it eventually in the next video. Please be sure to watch it so that you can see how we fixed the cup, how we draped the yoke on the bodies, how we attached the skirt and wrapped up this beautiful piece, and how we combined all of this piece to make a beautiful wedding dress that we love so much. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. Once again, this is Kema Freak. My name is Kemi Omorugbe. See you in the next video. Bye.